Hello everybody, my name is Kelly. I am a second grade teacher in California and I have been teaching for 15 years. I thought I would start a vlog to sort of document my adventures, as I have been calling them, in teaching. So I've been writing about my teaching career since I started, and I always call them my totally true adventures because every day it's something new. It's a new adventure, something new that I've learned, something new that I've done, and it's been a great journey. And I thought I would document what I'm doing in the class, and hopefully that it will help other teachers out there to see what it's like, or want to be people who want to be teachers, to see what it's like in the classroom, the trials and tribulations that we go through, the successes and joys that we go through, and all of that sort of great stuff. So this is just a teacher thing, and I'm calling it my second grade adventure. So today is Monday, October 15th. Today is going to be a fairly typical day. There's just one little hiccup in the schedule in the afternoon. The way my schedule goes is we come in the morning, we do our attendance, we go over our rules and expectations, and then we read for about 15 minutes. We do AR, which is a computer based program where students read books and then they take quizzes on those books and they get points for passing the quizzes. And after that we do ELA, so we do reading, vocabulary, phonics in the morning. We go to recess after that, we come back and we do ELD, where we group the students by their English language learner ability, and we give them direct focus instruction in English to help them become better speakers of English. After that we switch back, and so there's just going back to ELD really quickly, we have 3 second grades at this school, and we switch among all 3 teachers and give them that instruction. So after that we switch back and we do math. After math we go to lunch. We come back and my class does grammar and spelling. Then we do writing. We go to recess again, and then after recess, normally what we do is science or social studies, and we're working on science right now. But today I have the teacher on special assignment, Artosa, coming in to show me how to use and get the students onto Google Classroom. So I have to remember, I think I need the student's email for that, so I have to remember to print those out. And then after that we do RTI, which is focused small group intervention, where we split the kids between a bunch of different teachers in small groups and give them focused instruction in language arts on areas that they need help in. And then after RTI we go directly home. So it's going to hopefully be a great day. I'm going to go ahead and get things set up around the class, get ready for the day, and then hopefully I'll be able to catch up with you at first recess. Hey everyone, I'm back. I got through the morning without any drama, actually. There was one little hiccup, and that's one of my partner teachers is absent today, and they were unable to get a sub, so they split her class, which means I have 5 extra little kiddos in my room, and it's always a challenge just sort of managing them while they're sitting and working quietly and making sure I have room, and I needed tables because I had 2 students who were testing, making up their tests from Friday, and it always throws a sort of wrench. But the good news is, because they're in here and we're short a teacher, that means ELD gets canceled, so I think I am going to get a chance to get to science. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain their homework, because I do reading logs. My main homework is to have them read for 30 minutes and then do a reading log, and I've been having them do a traditional reading log where I gave them a spiral notebook, and they're supposed to write 2 or 3 sentences about what they've read. And it's not working this year. They're not remembering to write the titles or underline the titles or the authors. They're either writing this exact same thing every day, or it's very hard to read. It's just, I'm not sure what they're getting out of it. Some kids put a lot of work into it, and I get like half a page and a beautifully illustrated picture that's colored, and it's beautiful. But for most of the kids, it's not working. So I had found last year on TPT reading logs, and let me get it really quickly. So these reading logs were created by Christina DiCarbo, and they look like this. So they have all 4 days on one paper, and it's a different skill. Last week we did setting, because the week before we had read a story where we focused on setting being where or when, and then we took a test on it, and the kids were not quite sure what setting was when they had to do the test on it. So I thought, you know what, let me give them a week of all they have to do is when they read is draw a picture of the setting. And some of the kids still didn't quite get it, but that's fine. Not all the kids are going to get it, but a lot of the kids would draw me a picture or write me a sentence telling me what the setting of the story is. So last week what we did for one of our skills was asking questions while we were reading, before, during, and after. So I decided what I was going to have them do for their reading log this week is my questioning reading log, where they read the book, write the title, and write down a question they have about the information during or after their reading. And my students struggle with being able to ask questions. They want to say statements. They want to say information that they know, but I'd seen on this website called Reading Rockets a lesson where it had them write down questions by phrasing it in the form of a wonder. I wonder. So when I did that last week with the story of animals building homes, I got a lot of really good questions. And now, technically, they're statements. I wonder what animal that is. I wonder how the beavers built homes. But it's still in that skill of what they're doing is they're asking questions, or they're looking for information. So that's what I'm going to have them do. I just want to make sure I explain it to them more thoroughly this week, and hopefully I'll get a better success rate, and I won't get like half the students writing down. My favorite part was, because that's not what I want. I want them to ask a question about their reading. So the other thing, so that's what we're going to do after recess. We're going to go over our homework, and then we'll do our science. So in science right now, we're doing animal habitats. On last week, we looked at the desert habitat, and we wrote down plants and animals that lived in the desert habitat. And this week, we're going to look, I believe, at the polar habitat. Unfortunately, for desert, I had tons and tons of books that I found at the library. The Arctic region, the polar region, I didn't find quite as many, unfortunately. I did find this resource over the weekend by United Teaching, who lives in the Arctic, and I wasn't able to make copies of it. I actually don't know if I am going to make copies of it, because it's rather lengthy, and I am sort of running out of paper for the trimester. So I think what I might do is just cut it and have the student and read it as a class. But we're going to look at the Arctic region, and then we're going to do math, where we're focusing on finding 10 more, 10 less, 100 more, and 100 less than numbers, which the first day I introduced the skill, they got it. They could do any number I gave them. They could find 10 more and 10 less and 100 more and 100 less. And then on Friday, we did a worksheet that was admittedly kind of complicated, but it was like they all forgot how to do even the basics of it, and forgot how we did it. So today we're going into the math book and doing a lesson on it. Hopefully that lesson will get it more solidified into their head. And then I have some games. I have Who Has for 100 more, 100 less, which I think is probably the easier skill, where all they do is everybody gets a card. I have 605. Who has more than 861? So then whoever has 961 would say, I have 961. Who has? And you go around. So the goal is that the idea is to play the game multiple times, not necessarily in the day, but throughout the unit. And get faster and faster every time. So I'm hoping I'll be able to play it multiple times. I also have 10 more and 10 less, but when I laminated it, I accidentally laminated 2 sheets together, and then I completely forgot I did that and didn't redo it over the weekend. So that's something I'll have to do today. So mental note to myself, also do that. All right, so the bell is about to ring. I have a few things that I need to do. I will catch up with you at lunch. Hi everybody, it is now lunch. I got through science and math. Science went really well, except for a technical glitch. I had saved some YouTube videos on habitats, the Arctic habitat, on my favorite. I made a little playlist for it to show the kids. And last week when I went and I was showing them the habitat for the desert habitat videos, the video just stopped working, just completely stopped. It was buffering, it wasn't loading, even though, yeah, it was just... So yeah, and then today I went to go put it on and my Apple TV decided to go on the fritz and my computer couldn't detect it. So it's just kind of the grand tradition of teachers using technology and technology failing them at the exact moment that you need it. I don't know what it is. I am competent with technology, I swear, but anytime I try to use something new or special with my students, something goes wrong. And I can remember when I was in elementary school, my teacher would go to set up the VCR or the Laserdisc, and the same thing would happen. She would know how to do it, but something would go wrong and it would take forever for it to get working. So it's just, there's something about teaching and technology. It's like it waits for you. So we got through that. The kids were really excited. They were really engaged in, talking about the different animals that lived in the Arctic, and we were looking for plants that lived in the Arctic. So that was a really good lesson. Then we moved on to math. We did the lesson from the book, which we use Go Math, which was finding 10 more, 10 less, 100 more, and 100 less. And again, I think they're getting it. I think most of them are getting it. I had like a group of about 8 who just couldn't quite seem to figure out what we were doing, and it was a large group, so when I pulled them, I think some of them still got left behind where they weren't sure. And it didn't help that near the end it was like, okay, so we have 483, we need to find 10 less. How many 10s do we have? We have 8 10s. I'm like, all right, that's right. So you're gonna find less, you're gonna take one away. How many do we have? 493. No, you need to find the less. You need to take one away. 423. I mean, they didn't understand. 83 was a bad example. It was more like it was 60. So they went to 70, and then when I said less again, they went to 80, and they didn't understand. No matter how much I said take away, get smaller, they didn't understand. It's like we're going the other way, until I finally showed them on my fingers again, which is not going to help because I can't show them on my fingers when they're expected to do it on their own. So I need to find a way to do this and to teach it and get through to that group of students who just don't seem. But I did have 1 or 2 that the more we work together, the more they seem to get it. So that was great. Their problem is going to be reading and knowing when it says 10 more, 10 less, which, because we read the math test to them, because it's a math test, not a reading test, it shouldn't be that big a deal. Hopefully that when I'm actually reading to them, they'll get it. So next up we have grammar. We are learning we're learning proper nouns this week, which it's not the proper nouns. Like, there's a specific set of proper nouns that we need to learn according to the standards, and I can't remember what it is right now, and this is just knowing to capitalize names of people, places, and things. Specific people, places, and things, and it's not quite the standard, but we need to teach it because it's a good introduction to the standard. And then we're going to go into writing. We're writing personal narratives about a time we were scared. So last week we only got to do writing 1 day, which is not great, but it's what happens. It's life. So we did our thinking map last week, where we just got all our ideas about being scared out onto a circle map to sort of brainstorm them. And the kids, some of them understood what they were doing, some of them didn't. Some of them just wrote words and feelings and actions and ideas, and some people were trying to write whole sentences, and because it was a circle map, they were trying to write it around in a circle. But it's fine, we got something. So today I have a rubric that I'm going to go over with them so they know what to look for, or what I'm looking for when I'm grading it, and what's a fantastic or would be a 4, what is good would be a 3, what's okay but not quite there, which is a 2, and then what's just not good at all, which is a 1. And that's how we grade. We do the rubric scale, or the standards-based 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of A, B, C, D. So we're going to go over that, and then hopefully we're going to start our what's it called, planning map, or not our rough drafts, but the plan, graphic organizer, where we plan out what we're going to write. And then if we get that done, I'm going to have them, which I don't think we will, but if we do, I'm going to have them
go over their graphic organizer with their partner and read through what they're going to write and tell what they're going to write, to kind of give them that confidence to know exactly what they're going to write, what words they're going to use, and how they're going to do it. And I have some students who really struggle with writing, and that's kind of how they write usually, is they tell me and I transcribe it and then they copy it down, or they tell me and I say, okay, write that down, and they write down the sentence. So kind of just depending on where they are. But that's what we're going to do, and then they'll go to recess again, and then after that I have the TOSA coming in to show me how to use Google Classroom. I just got all their emails. Of course there's no easy way to I was putting it on labels and putting those labels on index cards, because I think the kids need them, and that way it's easy for them to have. And I was hoping I was just going to be able to cut and paste it. Of course I wasn't able to. I had to type all of them in. So hopefully I didn't make any mistakes, and they're all typed correctly, but they're all now on those index cards ready to go to the kids. And I hope I don't need their passwords, because I was never given passwords for their emails. I just knew that they had emails. I've never used them before. So we'll see what it's all about. So I'm going to go ahead and I have about 2 minutes before I have to pick up the kids. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to work, and I will catch up with you again at recess. Hey, I'm back. So I got through after lunch. We learned about proper and common nouns, mostly about proper nouns and how to make them into proper nouns and how they all need capitals. And then we got into writing. I really need to revamp my writing, to be perfectly honest. I just kind of usually sort of throw them in, like, here's your writing prompt, and this is my example, now it's your turn. But I'm beginning to think I really need to slow down, go over what a topic sentence is, really teach that. Let's write some topic sentences, go back and teach what the transitions are, all those sort of things that we used to do when we had our old program. We used to do Step Up to Writing, and then a few years ago we moved into Lucy Calkins, which I heard is a fantastic program. We got an hour's worth of training on it, and that was it. And I've read the book somewhat, but I'm not quite sure how to implement it. I mean, she seems to be a big advocate for throwing kids in and just having them write, where Step Up to Writing was very structured. So I don't know. I just think that my writing needs a little something more, especially with this group. I've got some kids who are really able to sit and write independently, and then I have others that just aren't. And I want to give the kids who are writing independently some more structure so they can really shine and become better writers. And it's unfortunate because we are halfway through the trimester, and once we get to the end of the trimester, we're done with narrative writings and we move over into research writing, and we do that a completely different way than we do. And I think I might even revamp that a little bit to give it, again, more structure. So yeah, so we started writing, and I worked with my kids who can't write words and helps them get their plan, on their graphic organizer ready. And then I have another student who can write, but he's not independent, so I had him tell me the sentence and I told him to write it down, and that was going very slowly. We got the topic sentence done, and it was a good topic sentence for the amount of work that it took to get it. So next, the TOSA is supposed to come in to show me how to use Google Classroom, and then we do RTI, which is small group, which will be interesting because I had to separate one of my guest students away from the group because she was just chit-chatting the whole time, and she's over at my RTI small group, so I'm going to have to move her again. So I'll just move her over into the library or into an empty desk, because I can't move her back with the rest of the group because she just can't quite hold it together. So I'll work with my small group, and then we'll leave for the day, and that will be my day, except for I have a meeting after school. So I will catch up with you again after school. Hello everyone, I made it to the end of the day. The Google Classroom setup went pretty well. It was a little chaotic, which I just knew it was going to be, trying to get 25 second graders logged on to a computer program using an email address that involves the @ sign, and then neither me nor the TOSA knew what the password was, so we had to look that up. I thought it was one thing, she thought it was another. We tried both, and we finally found the one one that worked, and that involved doing a capital letter, which my students are very new to typing. I signed up for typing club, and we do typing once or twice a week, so they're learning how to type and they're learning how to use the shift key and everything, but it's still very new. So she said we could do it one of two ways. One, she could go to the back and call up every student individually and get them signed in, or we could hand out the email addresses, put up the password, flash the class code up, and have them do it and run around and troubleshoot. And I just thought the first way was going to take too long, and I wanted to I don't know, get the kids more involved and working and trying to get it. So, because I know when we come back from Christmas break, they're all going to be logged off and they're going to all have to log in again. And this way, at least they'll have experience doing it once. So we did that. And there was a couple of glitches because I had typed the emails, 2 emails wrong. Out of 25, that's pretty good for me. So we got that. I fixed it. We got it all working. So they're all signed on to Google Classroom, so now I can start using that as another tool in my technology arsenal, which I'm trying to build up. So I need to do a little bit more research on how to use Google Classroom and what I can use Google Classroom for, but at least I'm all signed up. I've got all the kids on. They've got the code in. I've got their emails. I'm going to start setting up flip rings, I think, so they can have all their passwords and their usernames on different cards, and we just flip to the one that we need when we need it. And then after that, we did RTI, which was RTI. It's the kids I work with. My small group is working on CVC words and short vowels, and they're starting to really get it, except for one student, and the other ones are just flying ahead, and she's struggling to keep up, and I feel so bad, but I can't hold them back, and I'm trying to keep her up the same. So we're doing what we can. It would be nice. I'm just hoping that one day the difference between B and D clicks in all of their heads, because every single day we sit down to do blending and they get to the last letter and they go, duh. I said, that's not a D. Duh. No, it's not a D. Duh. Okay, what sound does B make? Let's review. So I really have to reach down deep and pull up all my teacher patience for that when they're just continually saying the duh sound over and over again. But I am really thrilled that they're making a lot of progress and they're becoming rudimentary readers and moving along. So that's really good. And then I've just been kind of sitting around doing work. I've been putting grades in my grade book. I'm starting SSTs. Filling out paperwork, but I was waiting for the custodian to come and vacuum my room so I could get back on and vlog. So he finally came and he vacuumed. My class looks nice again, and it's all set up for tomorrow except for a few things, and I am going to head off to my meeting, and thank you. So I'm going to end the vlog here. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go ahead and hit like if you liked it and would like to see more content like this. Please hit subscribe. I need subscribers, so I know I'm not just talking into a void. And then hit the little notification bell so you know when I upload. Right now, the plan is just to sort of upload once a week. We'll see if I get more ambitious and do more vlogs. So the plan is just to do 1 vlog a week and upload once a week. But if I start feeling like I want to vlog 2 days or I want to vlog 3 days, we'll see. That might happen. So yeah, but we'll see how I feel once I get into the groove. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day.